Welcome to Crypt Theory, where we go over all the horrific and interesting legends everywhere in the world. Today, we are doing a more broad of an area, mainly the Turkish area, so pretty much around where the old Ottoman Empire was, and then that's pretty much it. Today is the Al-Basti. So, it's a very interesting one. Let's get into it, shall we? The Albasti isn't an average folklore demon. Not crawling, not whispering through Ouija boards. She's much meaner and closer. She's the way you feel pressing down your chest when you're alone in the dark. She's the rage in your mother's voice. It doesn't sound like when it doesn't sound like her anymore. She's a bride bummer, a soul Scrooge, and in some stories, she's literally war trauma wrapped in flesh. So the idea of this demon is that the demon itself goes within living people and shows flashes. It's a weaponized spirit of unsolved grief and generational shame. So it can track a bloodline for generations. It can do all the interesting things a normal demon can, and more. Some say she was once a woman, dishonored, murdered, or betrayed on her wedding night. Others believe she is not a she at all, but a concept, a curse, uh, a metaphysical consequence of broken promises. So, three main beliefs, which we usually get with anything we'll research. I go through and research. We'll all get three different things, and that'll circle down, and it'll usually be three different concepts. A curse, which is more likely to believe, especially with how old this curse is, this demon is. A metaphysical consequence of broken promises. This is just a proof of, oh, well, you broke this promise and it's coming back to haunt you. I think they mainly, if they used that back in the day, they would have used that just to scare children mainly, to be like, don't break your don't make promises you can't keep. Don't break the promises. Or the Albasti's gonna kill your mother, you know, and all that fun stuff. She doesn't kill, she breaks slowly. Breaks down in a way to infect women with rage, paranoia, and hysteria, especially brides and new mothers, which is very interesting because it only attacks women, which why people think it's a woman demon. Which is part of the point, and then which is another point is the fact that it's lumped in with three things that are really, really like lumped in together even today. With rage, just violent outbursts out of random places. And when you're paranoid, somebody's always looking over your shoulder, somebody's always watching you, somebody always wants something from you. And then hysteria, just absolute reckoning and just going absolutely nuts for very little or no reason at all. So, what we would say is power. It's I need to find a new word for it. Abilities, power. It sounds like I'm talking game logic and stuff, which that's my only reason why. If it bothers anybody in the comments, let me know and give me suggestions on what I can change it to. And I'm just trying to make every single video I make moving forward better and better and better until there's no more betterment to be made, which is going to be never, because I can always do something better. And that's the goal. All right. So, it's power, abilities, or whatever you may have it. There's sleepless possessions. They report insomnia for weeks, dreams of vivid, violent, or strangely familiar. You wake up, bruises, enraged, just really enraged, which I find really interesting. Of the rage element stays no matter what you try to do. It is a rage demon. Emotional contagion. Basty infects emotions like a virus. One woman's panic becomes a household's nightmare. Whole villages have blamed her for outbursts, divorces, and even murders. So the Basty is the one to be like, okay, let's see here. This entity is making people, even whole villages, for violent outbursts. One random village woman's outburst, and leading to multiple divorces from several different women, and then even murders, saying, well, I think you're cheating on me. There's no way to prove it. You're in the Ottoman Empire era. So there's really no way to prove that back then. Even in like the 50s, like you couldn't really prove if somebody was cheating unless you caught them there, you know? Which is very, very sucky of anybody that cheats, and then very, very horrible. But anyways, shadow bride form. In rare sightings, she appears as a veiled woman in a bloodstained gown. So any wedding horror movie or anything like that. Sometimes crying, sometimes humming lullabies that end in screaming. So very, very Onryo-esque in that element. That, or very, very Bloody Mary-esque with the bloody dress and all that. Ghost Bride, you see that a lot in modern day horror, mid 2000s horror especially. And then symbolic destruction. Mirror shatters, wedding rings go missing, milk spoils overnight. Anything associated with purity, marriage, or motherhood becomes cursed. So you'll see, oh, well, we bought this milk last night. Oh, why is it cheese? Why do we have cheese? Might as well donate it to the U.S. government because they don't have enough of it. Mirror shattering, just like breaking the beauty, is what I like to use for mirror shattering. If you can't see yourself, you can't see whatever you look like, and in itself, you can't see yourself. It would be, I think that's symbolic as pretty much of somebody losing their shadow. You don't know who you are without your shadow, because your shadow is a part of you. So that's very interesting. And then weddings rings just go missing. Oh yeah, it's on my finger. Whoa, where did it go? And then they'll search the whole house for it and they won't find it. I was like, oh, it's at my friend's house. I probably left it at a pool somewhere, or something. And it probably fell off, didn't realize it, and realistically, it just poof, thin air. The appearance is very interesting. When it is seen, and this is very rare for this demon in particular, a veiled woman, face entirely covered in gauze, her head missing. Either her head is missing or it is really burned. So, I would think like a war victim of some kind. Like, she had a Molotov, or they didn't even use those back then. Some fire thing or something, like a campfire got out of control and it burned her face or whatever it may be. A blood red veil soaked down to the spine. So it's the veil is the thing that wives do over their head. It's the little netting thing they put over their faces, and they flip up and stuff like that. And then her feet never touch the ground, so gliding, silent and heavy. Like, she looks like she's stepping very heavily, like she has weights on her feet. A shriek that only a woman can hear. Men sleep through it. Women wake up crying and don't know why. So that's like a dog whistle. Think like a dog whistle. More than 99% of the population can't hear a dog whistle, but a very rare few can. And if translating that to only a certain type of human, like a certain sex of human being can hear this, it would be like comparing, oh, well, only my dog can hear a dog whistle. Only women can hear this shriek. And then stench of burning myrrh and iron. Like a wedding ritual gone wrong, like burning sage. I know some weddings in some countries do that. They burn sage to like dispel all bad juju and stuff for the wedding and for the couple in the future. At least I've been to a wedding that does that, and it's very interesting. And it's like, it smells like something went wrong. Either a wedding ritual, like for some reason the fire got insanely hot and started burning iron, which is very hard to do. Very, very hard to do. Which is very interesting because that's going to be really hot. Which I believe the melting point of iron is 2,800 Fahrenheit or 1,538 Celsius. So that is very hot. That is like transcending anything a human can do with the basic things that you would have at a wedding. Like, you're not going to have insane stuff at a wedding like that to make a 2,800 degree Fahrenheit melter, which is interesting. Or any time. And for that smell to happen, that means it's either true burning of iron, like the spirit is so enraged, its heat radiates that hot, or it's just natural smell. I just wanted to make that point to say this is how hot something has to be to burn it. If it were to be a legit burning of iron, that's how. All right, historical origins. So, in modern day Turkey, or Anatolia, here, she's known as the post-wedding parasite. If a bride wasn't pure or was forced into marriage, Basty would use her as a vessel, ride her spirit or whatever, causing seizures, hallucinations, and madness. So, Turkey, if somebody was forced into weddings, like they were, not too long ago, did arranged marriages, and some still are arranged marriages in some countries, and then they believe that it was not, it would be pushed onto her, and if she was unfaithful, or she wasn't pure, which meant back then, I'm pretty sure it meant she was still a virgin. If she wasn't a virgin, she was not pure. And it would ride her body and use the spirit as its own little toy, pretty much, and just make her pretty much nearly die or go spiral down into insanity. Armenia, um, at the time, was connected to the Ottoman Empire. I'm pretty sure. She was whispered to be a dead woman who died a virgin, consumed with rage forever for never being loved, and now haunting those who are. So that's an interesting twist in how it twists. It goes from an unpure bride, someone I'm pretty sure that means some bride was not a virgin. She wasn't a virgin before marriage, and so has it, and then going to a different country, also owned by the Ottoman Empire. I'm 99% sure of that. She was mainly to be dead, so she was flipped into how, okay, this woman was a virgin that was never loved and now hurting women that are. It's nearly completely twisted from country to country sake, which I really think is interesting, how different countries can use the same spirit or demon or monster or whatever have it, and it be nearly a polar opposite of one country says it does this thing, another country does this thing. Near Central Asia and Persia, which probably was influenced by the Ottoman Empire, Persia was its own. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Persia was its own. Connected to pre-Islamic jinn beliefs, described as a fire spirit fueled by the dishonor of a family unit. So, dishonoring your family, like going out and committing your kid, and you go out and commit arson on a big building or an important building, and they're like, oh, well, you dishonored our family name. Now our name is dragged through the mud. Think Salem witch trials, a lot of those last names of the people that would be executing witches, the ones that lie, that says, oh my god, there's witches and stuff. Those, back in the day, those names were dishonorable, and a lot of people are from then, or a lot of witches' last names were dishonored. So if you had that last name, you were known either as a witch or do not trust them, they might be a witch, or just don't trust them, kids, stay away from them, and stuff like that. And then Balkan folklore. Basty is a punisher of blood debt, haunting generations for crimes their ancestor never atoned for. So this one is kind of similar to the Balkan folklore of being okay. So or not Balkan, the Persian and Central Asia. It's haunting your bloodline. If this thing haunts your bloodline until the end of it, till the end of your bloodline, it's for crimes that their ancestors never served or was never served justice for. So with that, say for whatever reason your great 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 grandfather murdered somebody, and nobody has ever said, well, he was never brought to justice and he died and whatever. And then now you're being haunted for it for what your ancestors did. Which kind of have that today with people saying like, well, your ancestors did this, so you must be a bad person. Not true, but people say what people say. Think what they think. All right. Why she targets women and what that says about us. Us, I mean, as a species. The fear of female rage. She punishes men through their women. So this demon will be like, oh, well, I just got a wife. I just got married. And she sees him as a way of not being well or good for her. And she's like, okay, well, you just got married. And I see what you don't see, and your husband is one of the worst men ever. He is literally the mustache guy from Germany. I can't say his name without getting flagged. So, Germany mustache guy, you know who I'm talking about. He's literally not to that level, but almost to that level. Please, I am going to make his life a living hell so he leaves you to force you out of the situation, like it or not. The control of sexuality, virginity, chastity, motherhood. She haunts the expectations of what women usually want or have. She haunts the fact that you are seen as you are unpure, seen as unpure if you lose your virginity, which I don't see that, but olden times, they get very dicey and questionable with their ethics and morals, especially with women. Chastity, they're just wanting to live life, their marriage, their happiness with a man. It's like, oh, well, why would I want you to have that? Or I see what you don't, and he is not what you need. And then motherhood, one of the things that is guaranteed for somebody to be born. It's like, well, you have this. I don't think you deserve this. I don't think you are ready. I've been watching you and all those things. I find that really interesting. And then the mental health and superstition, postpartum depression, PTSD, sleep paralysis, all had one name, which is the Basty. So back in old times, they didn't have any answer for this, and at all they blamed PTSD, postpartum depression, and then sleep paralysis on this demon creature, whatever it may have be. She is a language for grief nobody wanted to name. This is pretty much just a grief demon. A key example is the Red Bride of Erzurum, I think. So a young bride in eastern Turkey begins to act strange. It started with her talking in her sleep, so sleep talking, then waking up screaming loud. A woman is in the corner, or the woman in the corner. The family thinks it's nerves, cold feet, until she refuses to eat. So loss of appetite, scratches appear on her back. So go scratches. Freddy Krueger. Random claw marks on random parts of your body. How did I get these? I just woke up. No, it's a little sharp finger guy following you around in your dreams. Back. Her wedding dress burned in the night. The one night her sister hears whispers. She's wearing my face now. The bride dies 2 days later. No case found in the mirror. No cause found in the mirror. A handprint, red, veiled, and upside down. So it was an completely upside down handprint. So like, if somebody was stabbing you or whatever, and you left a handprint, it would be like this. Instead, it was completely turned around like this, and it was found. It was veiled, so there had a veil over it from the bride's dress that was burned. Which I find this story interesting because it gives all the elements from several different cultural perspectives on this. As we've seen beforehand, it gives a lot of info, and it gives a lot of very unknown reasoning for a lot of these things. Random scratches on the back, you'd never know. It's early Turkey days, maybe Turkey. I think this is around when Turkey just became Turkey and the Ottoman Empire fell. So that would mean 12, 12 to 1500, I'm pretty sure. And then, so no cell phones, no nothing. They could have been in a log cabin. Or a cabin or some kind. It was just some animal, raccoon, rat, could be anything. That could explain itself. The woman in the corner, maybe just a snap, like she snapped or something. Loss of appetite, which I find always interesting. Of if this happens, it's a sign of something. It's either you're scared, depressed, or very, very stressed. So either she was scared for her life so much that she couldn't eat, she was very, very depressed about whatever it may be, or she was stressed about something. Probably stressed about the fact that she probably has a demon chasing her to her death. And then burned in the night, her wedding dress. That could have been anything. I found it interesting though because it was what I seen is like the sister didn't do it. Like there was no proof that anybody in the house burned that dress, but it was burned somehow in some way. And then the red handprint with a veil, the bloody handprint veiled, and it was the handprint was upside down. So a complete upside down handprint, which I find interesting because that is not normal on a mirror. All right. The cultural and ritual fighting fire with fear. Firewalking ceremonies to burn out the parasite. That would have like little parades, not really parades, but walks around the fire, and they'll be chanting all these things. Cold iron under the pillow to keep her from riding your spirit. So they would keep the cold iron under their pillow because they believed iron was her weakness. Smearing ash on the bride's shoes to confuse her ghostly footsteps. So if you smear ash on the shoes, her footsteps get all combobulated and messed up. No mirrors in the bridal chamber. Reflection is the invitation. So the reflection of a bride is seen as the invitation for the Basty to get in, get out, do what she needs to do the little possession thing, and then dips. Does a little possession, does a little murder, and then just dips out. And then warding prayers stitched inside veils. Hidden lines for protection in silver threads. So they would be lines from Bible or the Quran. This is more Middle Eastern, so I would think the Quran. And or whatever Christian Bible, Quran, forgetting what the Jewish book is. Any religious book, anything. It could be from any religion, and it would be with silver. They thought silver and iron were the weaknesses, and it was a protection over her. The modern representations. The Bride's Breath, a short film circulating TikTok about a wedding live stream got horribly wrong. r/no sleep. Veiled women with no eyes. My favorite Reddit of all time. r/no sleep. So many good stories. On that topic, if you would want me to go through r/no sleep and find some short stories or some of the longer ones and read them and give my thoughts on them, let me know in the comments below. See what's that all about. And if you would like me to do that, I will. I have no problem with it. I love r/no sleep, and I love all these stories, especially creepypastas. I would also do that. And then Whisper Audio ARG, a female voice podcast claiming to be recorded within a possession. The name Basty is only whispered in static. Not seen any of these. I haven't even read the No Sleep story. I might check that out afterwards. And then the urban TikTok trend. Some users stitch blood red veils into their wedding dresses for protection or to invite her in. and they want to test the demon because people are stupid. I don't fully believe some of these things, especially for how old this is, and they blamed it on like mental issues, like mental health issues we now know what are. But at the same time, me reading on this, I don't want to challenge a demon because I am not Sam or Dean Winchester, and I cannot expel or murder demons like they can. It'd be like Scooby-Doo and the gang coming up against Satan himself. Well, let's skedaddle. And then the final thoughts. Basty is not a ghost. It's not even dead. She's grief itself, looking for a host. So your mother screams in her sleep, or your sister avoids mirrors, and you feel someone is watching you in your veil. Don't ignore it, because some curses don't haunt the house. They haunt the bloodline. So watch your bloodline, people. The next time your mother snaps at you, ask her, "Are you a demon hunting my mother?" I dare you. I dare you to do that. I'm going to do it the next time. All right. Everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button down below. 73% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. Trying to reach 5K by 2026. If you can help me out with that, thank you so much. If you do, if you don't, hey, you watched to the end. What you doing? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button down below. Comment anything, comment any ideas, any way I can improve these videos to make these the utmost perfect videos for y'all. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.